Hi and welcome to ABG Sundal Collier's Investor Days. My name is Hanna Forsgren and I work as an equity research analyst here at ABG. With me today I have Per Eriksson, CEO, and Marcus, CFO. And Arise, welcome.
Thank you very much. I will start with a brief introduction of the company. Arise as a company was founded in 2007, listed on Nasdaq in 2010. We are still a quite small company, 39, actually we are 40 people, I think today. We have three business segments. One is production, which is the starting point for Arise as an IPP, 139 megawatts own production, annual production roughly around 340 gigawatt hours. Second leg in the business segments is our development business. Today we have a pipeline of around 2,600 megawatts, mainly wind, Sweden, but also solar, and also in some other countries as well, which we'll come back to. We have, since the beginning, divested some 1.3 gigawatt or 1,300 megawatts until today. We also have a third business segment, which is solutions, our services business, you could say. We have around 1,800 megawatts under management right now. We have under construction some 800 megawatts, which is a record level for us as we speak. Going a bit deeper into the business segments, we start with the production. As said, this is the starting point for Arise. We started up as an IPP, basically in southern Sweden, SC4, SC3, 139 megawatts. We have the development business. I can mention that here we have all the key competences we have in-house. For instance, permitting, planning, layout, grid. All the key competences we use internal resources. We have the solutions part, which is the asset management, which includes both technical management. We take care of, basically we provide a complete owner's function to the investors. Obviously we also handle our own assets as well, but we take care of the technical management, which means that we have manage all the contracts connected to the wind farms or the solar PVs, and also we have the financial management and also commercial management. So we do all the bookkeeping and all the we do board meetings, basically a complete owner's function. And concerning the construction management, we do project management. We have a project manager to manage the project, and also we have all the technical experts for different disciplines, like for turbines, like for internal grid, etc. So we have, even though we are small, we are quite complete in terms of having the key resources. Looking at our development as a company, you can see in the staples, which represents our own assets until today. You can also see here that between 13 and 18 we had another 100 megawatts, which was our 50% stake in Jädraås, which we divested in 2018-19. And you can see on the green line that is the investments we did until now. So 1.3 gigawatt. We started up the development business in 2013 and has been progressing that quite well until now. What we have developed represents a quite big value. We are talking about 1.5 billion euros in total investments for all our wind farms that we have developed until now, which we are quite proud about. With that, I leave the word to Marcus.
Yeah, thanks. So just an overview of the current project pipeline. Per-Erik mentioned it's about 2.6 gigawatts at the moment. We have around 300 megawatts in late-stage projects. Early-stage projects amount to about 2.3 gigawatts. And this will be a very important area for growth for Arise from now on. To kind of to develop this and to grow the pipeline, which we're quite confident in as well. Not least since it's sort of underpinned by a very strong financial position at the moment. At the end of Q3, we actually had a net cash position of almost 400 million SEK. So I think we're well capitalized to be able to continue growing the project pipeline. Just a recap of the Q3 report. Q3 was a record quarter for the company, explained by the sale of Kölvallen, which was completed in July this year. So net sales amounted to more than 900 million SEK, EBITDA more than 700 million SEK, and EBIT almost 700 million SEK. All of that due to the transaction for Kölvallen, which also impacted the cash flow, obviously. So we had really strong operating cash flow for the quarter, almost 800 million SEK, and cash flow after investments of 659. So all in all, a very strong quarter driven by the Kölvallen sale. We saw some headwind in our own production with very low wind speeds. We'll come back to a little bit more about that in the next slide. But production generated 52 gigawatt hours, which is low for the quarter. The average income was just below 500 SEK per megawatt hour, which was well below the market average. Again, we'll get back to that in the next slide. As mentioned, Kölvallen, in total, we saw upfront earnings impact of approximately 65 million euros. Shallow dive into the segments. Again, might be repeating myself, but the development segment, obviously very strong performance in the quarter with EBITDA of more than 700 million SEK. Kölvallen again. Our production, despite what I just mentioned about low wind speeds and quite challenging conditions, still decent EBITDA numbers of 12 million SEK, and our solutions business reasonably healthy EBITDA of 2 million SEK for the quarter. So looking into the prices on the left-hand side, you can see that Q3 2022 was an extreme quarter in terms of market prices, which on average were over 2,000 SEK per megawatt hour. For us as a producer, we suffer a bit from the extreme high price volatility, not only between days, but also between hours. Adding to that we have hedging positions which are well below those 2,000. I think for Q3 they were like 80 euros or 80 euros plus. Our realized price for the quarter was then well below market average. When we have these extremely low wind speeds and low production for the quarter, to some extent the hedging positions also can give some negative impact. But that's in the kind of extreme case, which you can see in the top right hand side, that the quarter we could have stretched or expanded this chart way back to the inception of Arise. I think 52 megawatt hours or gigawatt hours is unseen before. So it was a very extreme quarter. Another takeaway from the top right hand side is also that, you know, if there was one quarter which was extremely weak, then I prefer it to be the Q3 rather than the Q4 and Q1, which normally are the quarters that kind of are the strongest over the years. Hedging positions, bottom right hand side, that is Q3 is unchanged from Q2. We did not take any further positions, partly due to the high volatility, partly also due to low liquidity in that market. But that's something that we're continuously evaluating and monitoring if we deem it attractive to add something into Q3 and Q4. Then I'll hand back to you, Per-Erik.
Okay, thank you. Yeah, we had a few activities during 22. First, we did the green financing framework, 50 million euro bond that we completed in May, sorry. We also had an investment decision to construct Lebo project, 30 megawatts, which we will build in own book. We will finance it by ourselves, and then we will we have the flexibility if we want to keep it or if we want to divest it later on. So that flexibility is something that comes with a strong financial position. And the big event, of course, this year was the quite successful sale of Kölvallen, close 277 megawatts that we completed the 15th of July. One thing also that we think is good is that we have the possibility to keep a stake in Kölvallen, a 9% stake, which represents some 90 gigawatt hours to add to our production portfolio. We already started up preparations for our next project called Fasikan, some 100 megawatts up in SC2. We are awaiting to have the grid concession in legal force, where we have an appeal on the grid concession, but we expect to have that in legal force, let's say late Q3, early Q2 next year, late Q1 or early Q2 next year. And we are continuing, as we have a quite good position now, we are continued, or we have a focus to secure, of course, the product pipeline we have, but also we are looking into to increase the pipeline according to our strategy in selected geographies. That's underway. And a bit forward looking, we have a quite ambitious plan for growth. It's important to say that it should be a profitable growth. We are not a startup anymore. We have been in the market for more than 10 years. We have now a financial position, meaning that we can accelerate portfolio expansion. We have decided on selected markets at the moment, Nordics, UK and Poland. We have also taken the first step to regarding organizational growth. And we have also already some results, first results on solar PV. We have some 50 megawatt in the portfolio now, and we plan to build the first 2 projects already next year, if everything goes as we hope. And regarding owning assets, we continue to have a quite dynamic approach to realizing value from our production portfolio, and we have the flexibility to divest or to keep it, and we have a much bigger flexibility compared to the situation we had just a few years ago. And we also see that the production creates quite good cash flows at the moment. Regarding M&A, we continuously evaluating M&A opportunities. Normally that could be project portfolios in different stages, both in solar PVs, but also in wind projects in different markets, in our different selected core markets, you could say. So that's it, I think. Yes, 50 minutes.
We made it.
Thank you very much, Per-Erik and Marcus. So then it's time for some Q&A. And my first question is, what is the biggest focus area for you the coming year?
I would say that is to increase the production portfolio. That's a key focus area for us.
All right.
And of course, to realize the projects we have, late stage projects as well. So those 2, I would say.
Long term, do you expect any geographies to be more or less interesting?
Yeah, that will vary over time, I'm sure about that. And we have a bit of a special political situation right now. For instance, you can see that there was a decision in EU in September, I think, to introduce price cap on power production, and that will lead to some different political initiatives in the short run, and it will be, I believe it will be different approaches in different countries, which might increase risk in some countries, depending on how the government handle that. But in the long run, I think it will vary between different countries and depending on which government that is in force.
All right. In 5 years, how do you think the portfolio will be divided?
I believe it will be divided in terms of geographies. That's clear, and we have a quite ambitious target how to grow the portfolio. So we will see much more diversified in geographies, but also in technologies. So we have quite strong ambitions to increase the solar PV part in our portfolio.
How are you affected by the current macro situation?
The market situation, you mean?
A macro situation.
A macro, yeah, okay. Yeah, we had a quite dramatic development in the market. I would say the last perhaps 2 or 3 years, but it was really exploded with an extreme price increase in general with the super inflation we had. So that has really impacted us. Capex has went up quite much. Steel prices been exploding. Components, electronics is there are difficulties in the supply chain. First we had a COVID situation, supply chain issues, and then we had a hyperinflation for a number of years as well. On the other hand, we also had quite, I have been in this for 34 years now and never seen anything close to the markets we have as well. So on the other hand, the increased market prices also increased the values. So it has been really, all the numbers has changed a lot during the last year. Much higher capex and much higher valuations as well.
Exactly. So far they have been kind of attached and hand in hand. With high inflation, higher capex, but that is partly also driven by the high electricity prices that we see. So the investor appetite is kind of still the same, even though the magnitude of the numbers have changed throughout, but so has the developer profit, at least what we have seen most recently.
I would say that the demand for the there's still a lot of capital in the market, and the demand for projects is bigger than the access to good projects in the market in general.
That was all questions for me. Thank you very much.
Yep.
Thank you.